New concept. This week on World According to Jesse, astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson explains how we've actually had arms in space for years and talks about the unspoken alliance between astrophysics and the military. Watch this.
How does this make you feel to see astrophysics enlisted in the service of war?
Yeah, I try not to have much feeling about it, more just observations. And it's been going on forever. That book, Accessory to War, the unspoken alliance between astrophysics and the military, my field, my community of astrophysicists, we're overwhelmingly sort of liberal, progressive, anti-war, basically. Yet, we have been handmaidens to conquest and to hegemony since the beginning of civilization. And so that book was an exploration, came out last year, an exploration of that relationship. Going forward, the concept of a Space Force is not new, by the way. There's always been a space branch within the Air Force. It's called U.S. Space Command. And people worry that Space Force means we'll have lasers and bombs and things. I mean, think about how we've been using space ever since we've had access. We've had spy satellites up there looking at Russia, taking pictures. All manner of militarily useful hardware has been in orbit ever since we could put anything in orbit. So this is just a codification of what was always happening there. And not only that, GPS satellites, we know them because it can help you find where grandma lives on the map, but that was a military project by the Air Force, U.S. Space Command. And they know where the missiles are headed. And it's how war went from just carpet bombing and big old bombs to precision targeting, because the GPS signals tell the missiles exactly where they are and where they're headed. Now, like Uber would not exist without GPS, right? Whole industries rely on space assets. So here's the question. It's not just the value of the hardware we have orbiting the Earth, it's the value of the commerce it empowers. When you add that up, it's $1 trillion. You would want the military to protect your assets. So it's not a stretch to say it's time for a Space Force. Plus, I would throw in, while you're up there, protect me from that asteroid that might be headed our way, or clean up the debris that's there. Add some items to its portfolio.
The International Monetary Fund.
Shalom. Call hello Allah Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashi, which means all praises to the Heavenly Father, who you people ignorantly call God, which his name is Yahweh, by Hashem, in the name of Yahawashi, which is the name of the only begotten Son, who you people out there ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Those are the true names of the Heavenly Father and the Son. Plus, I'm going to give a shout out to the Akim that's pushing and spreading this word throughout the four corners of the earth, who's also uplifting the names Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashi. Also, to the Israelite foreigners out there whose bloodline traces back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our forefathers, though you look like the heathen nations, the nations on this chart from 2 all the way down. Also, if your lineage, your seed line traces back to these tribes, any of these tribes, through the man, and if his spirit bear witness with this word and this truth, and you can receive it, to the Israelite foreigners, man, woman, and child, if this does apply to you, you are Israelites, though you do look like the heathen nations. To the few Aqua, few sisters that do listen and learn, Shalom. To the elect of the nation of Israel, wherever you may be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, who this word is going out to, Shalom to you as well. To you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you could bond, consist, and make up the 12 tribes of Israel. You are the Hebrew Israelites, the chosen people, the Most High Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, once again, Yahawashi. And you saw the video. Jake in that video, he just said that the Space Force that Esau has set up, or setting up, well, I believe it's already set up. It is already set up. He's saying that it's nothing new, and that's right. Okay, it's nothing new, and I always go over, what the Space Force is for the Most High, which his name is Yahweh, and his angels. Okay, The legion of angels that's coming with them on those chariots. But they call them in this society UFOs, unknown flying objects. Okay? I'm gonna bring it out like always. Just to anybody that's new. It says, I believe it's Psalm 68. Actually, hold on. Let me get Ezekiel. Right? This is Ezekiel 1:1. It says, "Now it came to pass in the 13th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Shabar, that the heavens were opened. I saw visions of Yahweh. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiachin's captivity, the word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Shabar, and the hand of the Lord was there upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind." And the whirlwind is one of the nicknames to describe the so-called UFOs. It says, "Came out of the north, and a great cloud," which is also another description of the so-called UFOs, the chariots, right? "A great cloud and a fire unfolding itself, and the brightness was about it, and of the mist thereof as the colors of amber out of the midst of the fire." Basically, it's going into like the colors the colors how you seen like movies like if you ever seen an old school movie from '86, I always bring it up. It's called Invaders from Mars. When the ship was coming down, it had all those bright colors. That's what it's going into. It says, also, "Out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man." So it's about to describe the angels, right? "And every one had 4 faces, every one had 4 wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a cat's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass," just like it describes who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ in Revelations, the first chapter, and the 14th, I believe, the 13th, all the way down to the 15th verse. Talks about that burnished brass, and if you go into what color is brass, is a derivative of brown, right? So what is it saying? That the angels are so-called black men, okay? Because this world promotes that the angels, that who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, which his name is Yahawashi, once again, he's a so-called white man, okay? No, that they're Edomites, no. They're so-called black men, okay? They would look like, I'm not even going to say that. They would look like a Dr. J or Michael Jordan, They look like you so-called Negroes, which are the tribe of Judah. It says, "And they had the hands of a man under the wings on their 4 sides, and they 4 had their faces and their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went. They went every one straight forward. For the likeness of their faces, they 4 had the face of a man and the face of a lion on the right side, and they 4 had the face of an ox on the left side. They 4 also had the face of an eagle. Their faces, thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies." Okay? So this is the point, man. Just showing you the description of the so-called UFOs and who's on it. And it's the angels, okay? Description of these angels, which are so-called black men, okay? And if you were to see them today in the society, it would be so-called Negroes, okay? And Psalms, let me get that Psalm 68 now, right? Psalm 68 and 17. I started 15. It says, "The hill of Yahweh is as the hill of Bashan, and high hill as the hill of Bashan. Why leap ye high hills? This is the hill which Yahweh desired to dwell in. Yeah, the Lord will dwell in it forever." The chariots, right, the so-called UFOs of Yahweh are 20,000, even thousands of angels, which I just showed you in Ezekiel the 1st chapter, what they look like. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place, okay? And the point being is, uh they're here already. Okay? You're seeing so many chariots. Look it up. So look up UFO sightings. They're here. Okay? It says, thou has, this is the 18th verse, thou has ascended on high, thou has led captivity captive, thou has reserved gifts for men, yeah, for the rebellious also, that the Lord Yahweh might dwell among them. So he is dwelling amongst with them chariots, man. He's showing, okay, with the chariots, okay? And what did he say? Zechariah 5:1. This is Zechariah 5:1. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Once again, the chariots. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll, the length thereof 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, said the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. Okay? Who is the house of the thief? Who has the Israelites in their possession to this very day? Esau Edom does. In case you don't know, Esau Edom is the so-called Caucasian race. They're the Edomites. Okay? You stole, okay, all the resources around the world, starting with your elites. But mainly, what do you have in possession? You have the apple of the Lord's eye in his possession. What is the apple of the Lord's eyes? The Israelites, who are the descendants of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And also, like I say, the Israelite foreigners, okay, that look like the, so you got them too. You got Israelites that look like heathens, okay? But their seed line through the man goes back to the nation of Israel, okay? And you are that thief, man. And it's already happening. This has already been fulfilled, okay? They're already here. Like I said, if you don't believe me, just look up UFO sightings, okay? And it's to the point where they came out on RT News admitting, the Navy, I believe, admitting that the so-called UFOs, they're real. And they even changed UFO. But it says that into the house of him that swear falsely by my name. Who swear falsely? Okay, Esau does. Okay, what did he do? He said that who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ look like him. That he looked like a so-called white man. Okay, blonde, long hair, which that's going off. Okay, both the blonde color, which that's a leprosy. Okay, and also a plague, actually, and the long hair, which according to 1 Corinthians 1:15, I believe, it tells you a man shall not have long hair. You know, quickly paraphrasing it, which that's going off, and then and that he's so-called white, which that's leprosy. Okay, so you sworn falsely by the Most High's name. Okay, you basically saying that you're the Most High, and you're not. Okay, the scriptures say contrary to what you're saying. Okay. That proves you're the wicked. Like Job 9:24 says, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, who and where is he? Who did you cover mainly? Who you ignorantly called Jesus Christ, man? You covered the angels up saying that they were so-called white babies. Okay? No. Okay? And that's there, right? Okay? And let me see. And that's why they've been had this Space Force. Okay? They've been had this Space Force. They know, okay? They know what's coming. They know that just these Edomites, okay? They know what's coming. They know they gotta pay for all their crimes. Because for so long, this man has been getting away, okay, with all the atrocities that he's brought upon the planet, starting with the elite. Okay? Ah, man, I'm trying to find that scripture. Bear with me real quick. Oh, man. Let me type in. They know it, man. They know they're about to pay. Because look at all the prophecies that's being fulfilled now. We're in the last little bit of prophecies. Okay? They know it's, and they see the chariots. That's terrifying them. Right? Oh, man. It was a scripture talking about how even the devil knows, or I believe it went like, I forgot how it was worded, how the devil knows or Satan knows, okay, that there's a higher power, okay? Oh, man. If I can't find it, I'm just going to have to just paraphrase it. I know it's in the book of Hebrews somewhere. It's got to be. Yeah, there it is. It was the book of James 2:19. This is, I started James 2:18. Yeah, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. Thou believest that there is one God, which there is one God. His name is Yahweh. Thou doest well. The devils, okay? When you go in the devil means it goes into diablos, which means deceiver or slanderer. Okay, who slandered? Okay, the Most High. Okay, who deceived the world? Esau, even the so-called white man did. Okay, the devils also believe and tremble, man, and they know it, man. These elites know it. They know it's real. It's just you lower level Edomites that don't understand what's really going on. Okay, you don't understand. Well, you probably find out now, but you didn't understand it first. Okay. All right. This is right. This is getting ready to happen. Right. This is Revelations 12:7. It says, and there was a war in heaven. And when is the war? And Michael and his angels, right? That's fighting for us, for Israel, the Israelites, the elect, fought against the dragon. That's talking about Esau. And the dragon fought and his angels. And what's Esau's angel? What's Esau's angels? His tanks, his air force, like I always say, submarines, the road. Now he got killer robots, okay? Drones. He got all these things. That's his angels. That's that blessing, because he was blessed to live by the sword. That's why when these Edomites, you talk about taking away their guns and stuff, they get real pissed off at that, because their blessing is the sword. They cleave on to that, man. Okay? This is what's about to happen. This is what you people are about to witness. Okay? Because a lot of people are still questioning, why are they making the Space Force all of a sudden? Okay? This is 2nd Ezra 13. Oh, I typed in 14. Alright, this is 2nd Ezra 13. And I started the first verse. It says, and it came to pass that the 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the ways thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, right? And who was that man, right? And Yahawashi and the thousands of what? Angels, man, and them coming in them chariots. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth fell from when it filleth the fire. And what's that voice out of his mouth? And why would it say that and compare it to burning? Because them chariots, they're gonna shoot. Okay, have you ever seen the movie World at Wars with Tom Cruise? It was an older version, but the new one with Tom Cruise, which that came out 14 years ago, I believe. That's what you seen. The so-called UFO was just going through the street, and the people was just running like roaches, and it was just zapping them. That's really gonna happen. You think they put it in these Hollywood movies as a coincidence or for entertainment? No, it's really gonna happen. It's gonna burn you Edomites up. It's gonna burn, because 2/3 of our people, they're not destined to make it on this side. Okay, they're gonna come back on the other side, right? And the other heathen nations. Okay, anybody that's a enemy of Yahawashi, they're gonna get burned up. And after this, I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue that man that came out of the sea, right? And who was that? Didn't it say in Revelation 12:7 on that dragon? It's gonna be Esau and the other nations, okay? Because at the same time, while this is going on, World War III is prophesied to happen. We're in World War III. It just hasn't, just haven't escalated to the point where you gonna know we're in World War III, right? When World War III happens, these Esau and the other heathen nations, they're gonna be fighting each other. But while they're doing that, Yahawashi is gonna come with them chariots, and they're gonna look up, and they're gonna be terrified, right? As it's gonna say. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen a region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. So they're gonna be afraid when they see it. They're gonna be like, what the hell is that? They're gonna stop fighting each other and gonna look at it. Okay? What's gonna happen? The Lord's gonna put the spirit on them to fight. Because the Lord, is a man of war, as it says in Exodus 15:3. Okay? He wants to put up a show. He wants to show his true power to the world, man. That's what this is all about, right? And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out his mouth as it has been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath. Once again, the fire is gonna come out them chariots, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude was prepared to fight the other nations, Esau and the other nations, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So basically, when they fight back, the Lord's going to destroy them with them chariots, and all you're going to see is dust and smoke. Meaning they've been terminated, man. You're not going to see them no more. Because they were destroyed by the chariots, man. Because that's what's about to happen. And the Lord's going to do that because, let me see. We get Joel 3. And 1, it says, for behold, in those days, in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah, that's you so-called Negroes, the head tribe of all the 12 tribes in Jerusalem. Okay? All of Israel. All of Israel is going to be delivered in this time because we're all in captivity. Okay? I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. That's where you see all the commotion going on with Syria and the oil and stuff. Around that, the Middle East region. And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they scattered amongst the nations and parted my land. And who was in the land claiming to be the real Israelites? The so-called Jewish people, who are the tribe of Amalek. They're also Edomites, okay? They're also they're Edomites, okay? They're no different from the Caucasians here, okay? So-called Caucasian people here in America, or in France, or in Sweden, okay? They're all the same. And that's why the Lord, what he's going to do, he's going to gather these nations. He's going to go to war with these heathens for Israel's sake, man. Okay? Because you have the Israelites in captivity. So the chariots are coming to do two things. It's coming to destroy the Esau, the heathens, and even 2/3 of our people, because they're wicked. They're not going to repent. They're not going to turn from their ways. Okay? And it's going to, what else is it going to do? It's going to deliver the elect. Okay? It's going to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay? That's who the Lord is getting ready to come back for and fight for. Okay? Let me see. It's probably 31st chapter. Yeah. This is 3, Isaiah 31:3. It says, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord." And he's talking to you so-called, you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that put your trust in the Esau and his military instead of putting your trust in Yahawashi, right? It says, he also is wise and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers, mainly Esau, and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men, and Esau, okay, is the new Pharaoh, okay? Because this is New Egypt, according to Revelations 11:8, Joel 3:19, showing you that Esau is that new Pharaoh. And also Deuteronomy 28:68 said, the Lord said he will bring, okay, the you Israelites, okay, mainly you so-called Negroes, into Egypt again with ships. And if you go into the Egypt, it goes in the house of bondage, slavery, okay, and not Yahweh. And their horses, flesh, his tanks, his air force, okay, whatever weapons Esau got in these other nations, right? They're nothing but flesh. You're dealing with an angelic being, man. These chariots are out of this world. The technology they have is out of this world, and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down. They shall all fall together. For thus have the Lord spoken unto me, like as a lion and a young lion roaring on his prey, you other nations. And when a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall the Lord of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion, which is Israel. Okay? Read Psalms, I believe it's 53. The 53rd chapter tells you that Zion is Israel. And for the hill thereof, as birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem with the chariots. Defending also, he will deliver it. Who? The elect. And pass over, he will preserve it. Okay? So he's going to use them to also fight for the elect. Turn ye unto him, from whom the children of Israel have deeply revolted, being rebellious. Okay? So you repent, man. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. If you haven't done so, repent, man. If you want to be protected in these times, because you're going to need to be protected in these times. It's like, I went over my break. Okay? Repent to the name Yahweh by Shem Yahawashi, and try to do right until all hell breaks loose, and you shall be delivered. Okay? Call halal Allah Yahweh by Shem Yahawashi, shalom to the elect.